All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive, kind of intimidating goal, making your first $100,000 in 12 months. But look, we're not treating this like some mystical lottery ticket. It's actually a mathematical certainty. We're going to break down exactly how you can predictably manufacture this outcome using proven playbooks from multi-million-dollar founders and elite corporate side hustlers. We're talking aggressive business tactics combined with just relentless, rigid system building. Think about 100 grand for a second. When most of us see that number, we get emotional, right? We get overwhelmed. But today, we literally need to strip all that emotion away. Hitting this target is simply the product of consistent daily execution. It's just about following a very specific, validated blueprint. You just need to know exactly what to sell, who you're selling it to, how to close them, and honestly, how to rigorously manage your time so you don't burn out in the process. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for today. 1. The money math. 2. Finding your perfect offer. 3. Systemizing your workflow. 4. Generating unstoppable demand. And 5. Closing the deal. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the $100,000 money math. So to ground this huge goal in reality, we really need to look at what 100 grand actually looks like in terms of living, breathing customers. If you try to sell just one person a $100,000 package, you're looking at massive concentration risk. I mean, if that one client leaves, boom, your business is at zero. But on the flip side, trying to convince 10,000 people to hand you $10, that requires an impossibly huge audience. The magic actually happens right in the middle. 100 customers willing to pay you $1,000. That is the absolute sweet spot. It drastically limits your risk while keeping your workload totally manageable.
Moving right along to Section 2, finding your perfect offer.
So how do you actually get someone to hand over $1,000? Well, you solve for one of 3 core human desires: saving them time, making them money, or elevating their status. But guys, here is a hard truth you have to accept right now. Doing custom hourly work is a trap. It has absolutely zero leverage. To scale to 100K, you absolutely must build a productized service. Instead of saying, hey, I'll do open-ended marketing for $50 an hour, you say, I will deliver 10 new qualified leads to your business every single month. See the difference? You're selling a clear, packaged outcome. It streamlines your work and massively increases your profit margins. Now, to figure out exactly what that productized service should be, you need a filter. Enter the Japanese framework of Ikigai. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. You've got to brainstorm an offer that lands perfectly in the dead center of 4 things: what you actually love doing, what you're genuinely good at, what the world actively needs, and, this is crucial, what people have proven they will pay hard cash for. Because if it misses even one of those slices, it's really just an expensive hobby, not a 100K blueprint. Once you've nailed down that service, you've got to price it strategically using what's called decoy pricing. So you don't just offer the $1,000 option by itself. First, you create a $500 do-it-yourself tier, basically just your written playbooks. Then you present your core $1,000 done-with-you tier. But here is the secret weapon, the $10,000 done-for-you tier. By placing this extremely expensive, high-touch option right next to your core target, you anchor the customer's expectations. Suddenly, that $1,000 offer, it looks like an absolute steal.
All right, Section 3, systematizing your workflow. Now, having a brilliant, perfectly priced offer doesn't mean a thing if you can't actually execute it while, managing the rest of your life. And there are 2 totally valid but wildly different paths here. You can take the patient, creator-first approach like Jeff Sue, teaching what you know, giving away free value, and just letting your audience tell you what they want to buy over time. Or you can go with Dan Martell's business-first approach. This is aggressive. You find an immediate pain point, pick up the phone, validate demand through direct sales, and literally build the product only after they've handed you their credit card. Both methods absolutely work, but both require relentless consistency.
To maintain that consistency, especially if you're a side hustler balancing a full-time job, you have to apply intense corporate-level structure to your workflow. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. We're talking about building a centralized digital command center where every single idea and task lives. You run 3 strict review sessions daily: morning to plan, midday at lunch, and evening to wrap up. That way, absolutely nothing slips through the cracks. And you rely on exhaustive, non-negotiable checklists for your deliverables to completely eliminate decision fatigue. You don't sit around wondering what to do next, you just look at your system and execute.
Listen to this carefully. If you really want this level of freedom, you have to pay for it up front. You literally need to sign a 2-year contract with yourself. Lock in and stop renegotiating your terms every single time you feel tired. This means sacrificing some weekends, skipping a few social events, and accepting that you are trading short-term pleasure for decades of long-term freedom. Once that contract is signed, the debate is over. You just do the work.
Which brings us to Section 4, generating unstoppable demand.
Look, no matter how flawless your systems are, nobody is just sitting around waiting for you to launch. The market honestly doesn't care about you yet. You have to go out and generate the leads yourself by running two engines at the exact same time. First, outbound marketing. This is for your short-term survival. You're mining your phone's contacts, asking directly for referrals, and sending highly targeted messages to get conversations going today. Then, inbound marketing. This is your long-term foundation. This is where you create content that gives away your absolute best secrets for free, which organically draws a massive audience to you over time. So, what does this all mean for your intellectual property? Well, here is a wild strategy. Identify 10 highly specific problems your target client faces and give away the exact solutions for free in your content. But, and here's the trick, scramble the order. The information on how to do the work is completely free, but businesses will happily pay you $1,000 for the structured A to Z sequence of implementation. Think of it like this. You're freely giving away the recipes, but you're charging for the fully catered meal. And finally, Section 5, closing the deal. All that generated demand, it means literally nothing if you can't actually lock in the revenue and get paid. But surprisingly, you don't have to be some smooth-talking salesperson making high-pressure cold calls. You can just use the sell-by-chat playbook. It starts super simple. Engage your followers in social media DMs. Just ask if they're there to consume content or if they actually want help growing their business. Once they say they need help, ask targeted questions to uncover their pain points. Next, send them a highly structured, AI-generated offer document that does all the heavy selling for you. Then, you just drop a payment link and watch the revenue roll in. But whether you're selling in the DMs or actually jumping on a cold call, here is the ultimate pro move. Address potential roadblocks incredibly early in the conversation. Ask them outright about their budget before they can even think to use price as an excuse. When you bring up these hurdles early on, they're just obstacles you navigate together. But if you wait until the very end of your pitch, they solidify into hard objections that will absolutely kill your deal. At the end of the day, sales is entirely a numbers game. Frankly, you just need to learn to love rejection. Make it your explicit daily goal to get 100 people to tell you no. I'm serious. If you can push through the sheer discomfort of that much rejection every single day, the math guarantees that you're going to stumble into the yeses you need. Every single no is mathematically just a stepping stone on your path to 100K. All right, so we've covered the math, the offer, the systems, the marketing, and the sales. But now I really have to challenge you to look inward. If you're actually going to execute this blueprint, what is your real hidden motivation? It can't just be some vague desire for freedom. It has to be something deep, something that will force you to honor that contract with yourself when you're exhausted and just want to quit. Are you ready to lock in? Or will you be one of the 36 who do absolutely nothing? Think about this. Over a 5-year period, 37 incredibly smart, highly capable corporate employees asked creator Jeff Su for his exact steps to build a lucrative side hustle. He gave them the entire blueprint. Out of those 37, exactly one person took action. The other 36 never even started. Well, you have the blueprint now. Which one will you be? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.